Hi everyone, Ina here, clinical nutritionist and the co-founder of My Custom Cleanse. And today we're going to be talking about one of my favorite topics, which is toxicity. How we can help get toxins out of the body, but also even more importantly, how we can prevent toxins from coming into our system in the first place. I'm going to give you some very quick and easy tips to do that so that we can all start to feel better, to look better, and to be able to lose weight easier as well. Before we get into the specifics, I wanted to give you guys a couple of statistics. I was just listening to my friend Tom O'Brien speak on a recent summit, and he was quoting a paper from the World Wildlife Fund that stated that in the years between 1970 and 2012, which is a total of 42 years, on average, there has been a 58% loss of all vertebrate species on the planet. That means that more than half of anything that has a spine is now gone. There's also been a loss of 36% of birds, and then out of the species that are lost, 78% of those were ones living by the water. So why is this happening? Well, unfortunately, our waters are really polluted. And so these animals and birds are drinking the water is affecting them and causing a lot of different diseases, and that is making them unable to reproduce, and hence there is a loss of those species. And what's also interesting is there's another study that talks about that in the last 38 years, there has been a 59% reduction in the average male sperm count. Now, they're not talking about couples that are having fertility issues. This is just the average male. And just so you guys know, scientists worry about extinction of a species at 72%. So what's actually happening to the animals is happening to the humans too. It's just happening to us slower because thankfully we filter our water. The Journal of Pediatrics actually reported that we have an average of 250 pounds of toxic chemicals per person per day in this country. That's crazy. And actually newborn babies are born with 180 chemicals in their body. So that's the Environmental Working Group that did that study. So 180 chemicals are found at birth. I just found that to be really, really astonishing. And so, with all of that, we want to think about, well, what can we do? So first, I think it's really important to get these chemicals out. And that's where cleansing really comes into play. So with cleansing, we want to make sure that we're cleansing the organs that we need to cleanse and the organs that are the most taxed. And there's many different cleanses out there, as I'm sure you guys know, from juice cleanses to liver cleanses to colon cleanses, and they all may be okay for different people. Here at Custom Cleanse, what we try to do is we try to customize cleanses for everyone because we know that we're all so different. And so what we do is we have a very detailed questionnaire where we get to know you. We get to know your metabolic rate. We get to know your medical history, your genetics, your tendencies, your likes, your dislikes, your schedule even. And so this way, we make a cleanse that's really specific to you. We'll tell you exactly what to eat, when to eat it, and then we pick the nutrients based on the organs that are more taxed for you that need cleansing. And it's really, really important to try to get these things out of our system at least once a year, but ideally 2 or 3 times a year is even better. But in addition to cleansing, what we also have to do is be mindful of what toxins we're exposed to so that we try to limit that. Unfortunately, in our world, we can't live in a bubble. We're always going to be exposed to some, but there's lots of easy things we can do to prevent the exposure to so many of the chemicals. So I think one of the biggest things is plastics. So plastics and the chemical in that would be BPA or BPS. And that chemical has a lot of effect on our whole body. So those chemicals are estrogen mimickers. So it affects our hormonal system. It affects our liver, which in turn is going to affect how we feel, our skin. It's going to affect anything that our hormones affect. And so there's a lot of cancers that are affected by these chemicals. So what you can do is try to minimize the use of plastic. So when possible, use glass containers. Get rid of your Tupperware. Put things in glass. Drink from glass bottles. And then one big thing that I find that a lot of people don't know, and I actually didn't know this myself until a couple of years ago, is the plastic lids on the coffee cup. So you know when you go to Starbucks and you get this really steaming hot coffee and then you put that lid on it? Well, guess what? That lid is made of plastic. So now that hot coffee, the steam comes off the coffee, the steam then goes up to the lid, it melts the plastic in the lid, and all of that then melts down back into your hot beverage. And what are you drinking? You're drinking all of that. So the easy thing that you can do, you don't have to give up your coffee or tea. That's fine. You can continue drinking it, but just don't use those plastic lids. Just take those off and drink right from the cup. Or even better is when you go to Starbucks or you go to Dunkin' Donuts or whatever coffee shop you go to, bring your own stainless steel container or glass container and ask them to fill it up. That would be much, much safer. Now, another thing that you can do is take off your shoes when you come in the door. So what happens is that many people use Roundup on their grass, and a lot of lawn services use that to prevent weeds. Roundup is really, really toxic. It affects our liver. It also affects our microbiota. So it affects the balance between the good and the bad bacteria. And that's where a lot of our immune system is. It's in the gut. So even if you don't use Roundup or those chemicals on your lawn, you could be walking down the street. You walk past your neighbor's house who uses Roundup. It's on your shoes. You come in the door. It's now on your carpet. And then your child may be laying on the carpet, doing their homework or hanging out, and now they're absorbing it through their skin. So take off your shoes. Really, really easy. The other thing you can do is look at your water. So it's so important to drink clean water. And some states are better than others, but any tap water is still going to contain chemicals. So I like using a reverse osmosis filtration system. You can also get something called the Zero Pitcher, which uses reverse osmosis, but it's in a pitcher. Or if you get a water delivery service, try to get one that uses glass so that it's not plastic. We actually use something called Health Mountain Spring Water. No, actually, I'm sorry. It's Mountain Valley Spring Water. And I have no affiliation, by the way, with this company at all. I just use them because I like them and they deliver in glass jugs. The other thing is look at your foods. Try to do organic when possible. Now, I completely understand. Organic can be more expensive and it's also not available everywhere and in all seasons. So I know you can't always do all organic, but then you want to pick and choose. So look at the Dirty Dozen list. That's the list of fruits and vegetables that tend to absorb more chemicals. And strawberries, for example, that's one that absorbs a lot of pesticides. Strawberries are like little pesticide bombs. So those, when possible, try to get organic. It really helps. And then meats. You know, you can't wash the chemicals, the hormones, the antibiotics out of the meat. So try to get meats that are organic. If it's beef, try to get grass-fed. If it's chicken, try to get chicken that's organic and pastured. It's going to have a lot less chemicals. It'll be a lot better for you. Also, take a look at your cosmetics and body products. There's so many different chemicals in those products. Parabens are one of the big things. A lot of people already probably know about those. You want to try to avoid them. They're also estrogen mimickers. But also look at things like fragrance. So the word fragrance actually is a combination of many different chemicals. There can be as many as 100 chemicals in that term fragrance. So look for something that is phthalate-free, or something that is an essential oil scent. This way you know that it's a natural scent and not an artificial fragrance. And also just look at the ingredients and see if you can pronounce them. The rule of thumb is that if they're really long words and you can't pronounce them, they're probably a chemical. And if you guys are not sure, the Environmental Working Group has a really great database on their website. It's called Skin Deep. And they have a really large database where you can enter your product. It could be a cleaning product, a skin product, a body product, and they give it a rating. Anything from 1, which is low, to 10 being high and toxic. So you want to try to buy things that are as low as possible on that scale. And then you also want to look at your cleaning products, specifically antibacterial soap. So there's really no need to use antibacterial soap. What happens is the antibacterial soap, the chemicals in that are really harsh, and not only are they bad for the environment, but they are also bad for us because they help to promote drug-resistant bugs. There's really no need, you guys, to use antibacterial soap. If you just use a good quality soap and hot water, you'll be able to wash off a lot of the germs and a lot of the things that you come in contact with. I personally use a company called Better Life. Now, again, I have no affiliation with them. I just like them. But any natural soap and hot water will do. So look at these things. They're really simple and easy, and we can implement them right away. And, I know there's a lot that needs to be done, but if we all just do one thing, not only are we going to helping ourselves to feel better and look better, but we're also going to be helping the environment and our planet. So if you guys have any questions, please let us know. You can email us, you can call us, you can write on our Facebook wall. We're here to help. Until next time, bye.